Hello, welcome to theartclasses.com. Today we are going to draw Captain America. This is a basic drawing tutorial. It's a remake of the older version of the Captain America I did a few years back, which now has less so quality because now YouTube has HD. So I'm just upgrading the video and audio quality. And in this tutorial, I am using a Sketchbook Pro, which is 20-30 bucks. I'll have the link down below so you can download it. You can use pencil and paper. It doesn't make much difference since this is a line drawn. You can just follow the instruction using your pencil and paper. You'll just be fine. And if you want to get a Sketchbook Pro and Wacom tablet, you're welcome to. They're not that expensive compared to the high-end painting program like Photoshop. All right. Let's get started. So here we are in a Sketchbook Pro. I just recorded my screen capture, and it's a lot easier. I don't have to set up the lighting and my hand won't get in the way. I make a new layer and then I just start testing my pencil and see if the line would be appropriate. So I start off with the circular shape, and then the vertical line will be halfway of the, I split the face in half, and the horizontal line is where the eye would be, so that we got the head shape. And I also have the instruction on how to draw a regular realistic head up there, so you can go take a look at them also. Now I'm drawing a torso which arc a little bit in the front, and now drawing his pectoral. And if this video is going a little fast, you can always pause and play, because I usually draw pretty fast, and this is not fast forward. And now we got one arm with the knuckle, or the back of the hand is facing us, and the other arm I'll have him holding his shield. So usually I will draw a rough sketch of the whole pose and the whole body, and I'm not trying to get anything fancy here. It's all just going to be a simple pose, standing up and holding the shield, just basically for the beginner drawing. And as you can see now, I'm just getting the proportion down so that I can later go on top of it. And if I use pencil, this line is going to be pretty light. I'll use a darker line and draw on top of it again. Now I'm just using I'm drawing his legs and his pelvis. These are just pretty rough line, and I recommend when draw a long line like what I do. Just drag it all the way through. Don't use the short line and connect them all together. Use the whole arc of your arms. But if you get into the tight or small space, it's okay to use your wrist. Just measure it and see. So now I'm drawing his where his eye would be, and then the tip of his nose at the bottom of his nose, and then the lips. So the bottom of his nose should be around halfway in between the eyes and the chin, and his mouth should be halfway in between the tip of the nose to the chin. So break in half and half again. And now I'm just drawing roughly his Captain mask. And this costume is a typical comic costume. It's not a movie costume. So, and now I'm making another layer. And this is the level of lightness that when I draw in pencil would be. If I shooting the video with pencil, it's probably be hard for you guys to see. So now I'm going on top of it using a darker line, trying to draw over. And at this stage, you can tweak and change just little things, detail on top of the line, because you already have the foundation. So once you have a foundation, it's a lot easier for you to decide, okay, whether you should change or alter the line a little bit on the detail level to make it look better. But if you're just drawing on a blank canvas, then you probably have a harder time measuring what part of or where you should place certain element onto your image. Now I'm just drawing his mask over his face. As you can see, I already have everything. The rest I have to do is just making the last line drawing. The other way you could do is you could, if the sketch line is pretty sketchy and you're pretty sure about your sketch, which is the foundation that I have below this, you can use Copic marker or any kind of inking pen and ink over. But on that stage, you have to be really certain or really confident that this is going to be a final. Like at this point, I'm still switching and changing things around. Like I'm using eraser and erase certain line that I think that maybe that line wouldn't be that good, and I have to thin it down a little bit, or changing and shifting the position. So his mouse is pretty similar to if you're drawing Flash. You could actually use this tutorial and draw Flash, because it's the same kind of mask. Now I'm drawing his lips and mouth, and a little shadow underneath his lower lip. And then I'm going to add in more detail into the eye. And you don't want to put too much detail on the face. At least my taste is not. If the final drawing is you're not showing off the face, you don't have to put a lot of muscular or jaw line, or I mean the muscular shape or where the muscle would be, because you're going to see about 3/4 of the body. So you might as well do the whole thing and keep it simple at first. And if you finish the step that I show you, you can always, go in and tweak it and make it look better. Take your time. There's always room for improvement in any drawing. Now I'm just trying to refine the outline of his shape, of his face. Adding his cheekbone. That's a little too much. Just have to do everything at the right amount. At first I was gonna make him, look a little more like the mask in the movie, but then I changed my mind because it's on the canvas is look a little plain. So now we have his whole face, and next we're gonna draw the body. His collarbone, his neck's coming down to the collarbone, and then his back muscle. They decided to have the wing out and erase that part. Sometimes something look good in reality doesn't mean that it might look good on the drawing on a paper. That's why, sometimes the costume design on the comic book and the costume design in the movie are different. You can probably find a way to figure out how to make the movie costume and implement it in here and make it look good, but it's probably going to take design a while for me to design, so I'm just going to keep it simple since it's a basic tutorial. And now I'm drawing his pictorial. And another deltoid. Actually, when I watching this video, I realized that his right pectoral, or the pectoral that close to you, and his shoulder muscle could moved up a little bit. Oh, I actually moved it up. I thought I didn't, but anyways. Yeah, move the pectoral up slightly, a little bit more. There you go. And now the mid section. That's his rib cage coming down to his, and now I'm drawing his bicep and then forearm, his hand. He's holding a shield on the other side, and I'm not going to draw his whole hand since it's going to be a quick sketch. If you want to know how to draw fist and hand, just on YouTube search box, type in how to draw fist and hand and type in my name or type in I Draw Girls, then you will find a tutorial on how to draw fist and hand. then you can apply it to this one. This one's just gonna be a pretty loose sketch remake of the older one, because the older one has terrible audio and terrible video. Video is not bad, but the audio is pretty bad. So now we're halfway there, and now I'm just adding his the design of his costume or his outfit, and then the stars. And then I'm trying to make it have a correct proportion, and I'll have to use some eraser and erase partially. I'm going to draw his belt. And his utility belt, I'll also have a bunch of gadgets. I don't know what he puts in there. Sort of like Batman, I guess. And now his legs and his pelvis. And the line has to be continuous from the top, so always measure when you draw. And the line is kind of scribbly in the bottom. Apologize, I didn't clean it up. And then the star on the shoulder. So there we have Captain America. Basically just, you know, drawing a solid male body with correct proportion and muscle, and just add a costume. So now I'm just gonna, maybe I try to add some of the element which the Cap was in the movie. I just trying to play around, adding some helmet line which is there, and you can see his ear. And then he has some kind of strap on his shoulder that I think those are the one that he put his shield on his back when he's running around. And there's a little design on his chest, additional line right there. And yeah, but then I add a little more form onto his back, and I increase the size of his head because he has a helmet and some line, and he has some kind of design on his glove a little bit also. So you could add all that basically, and then his shield. Make him a little more, what do you say, modern? It's not modern, it's a little more movie design like. And then his belt buckle have a different too. So there we go. But then I'm just going to keep it simple right there. I turn that layer off because I make another layer to make some kind of different design on it, which is a little more toward the costume design of the movie. Now I'm just going to try to make this one look good. I'm going to zoom into the head and clean some line up, make him look slightly better. I mean, it looks okay now, but you can always make them look better. Just cleaning up certain part, adding some form on, adding some angular shape, and moving his eyes around a little bit, just like a little bit of misplacement, you know, try to spot that. And I spot some displacement on the other eyes, and I'm erasing it and trying to redraw it. And sometimes, you know, a really finished drawing takes time. And this drawing tutorial, I'm just making a really quick, you know, basic drawing, so you get the idea of how I get to a certain point. And this is not a finished point. If you want to be a penciler, if you want to give a good drawing, you're probably going to have to fix this up a lot. This is just a really base sketch of what is to come. If you want to ink over and you want to add some more line, add some, you know, a little more muscle line onto him, and add some more design, and the outer part of his body, you could use a slightly thicker line, and in the inside you could tone down the line to be a little more thinner and a little more solid. And at this stage it's still very sketchy, and I could tweak his nose a little bit more, make him has a bit more better shape. Like right now I'm changing his eyes and it looks a little better on the further end, and I'm so trying to erase certain scribbly part that is not smooth. There's always thing to fix if you look for it. Just little detail I add, and then so it makes some change onto his forehead, make it slightly a little more angular on the forehead and around on top of his eyebrows, make it a little more pronounced. And you can always go in and fix things like the line around his pecs and a line around his arm, adding more muscle onto his abdominal. Yeah, so basically you can, you know, from this on the tutorial, you can always go in and smoothen the line out, thicken the line, thinner the line, and try to make it look good. And all right, here's your Captain America. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and subscribe. Also check out my channel. I have a bunch of free video tutorial, about 300, including digital painting and traditional drawing with pencil and paper. Also on my website I have a premium tutorial if you want to get into the really awesome stuff of how to actually digital paint and all that. And you can actually paint in this Sketchbook Pro, and in the end you can download a free ebook that explains digital painting in Photoshop, not Sketchbook Pro. And also there's a bunch more tutorial in the end. Alright, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.